proclaim the word. We may receive eyes to see and ears to hear and strength and courage to follow you, who are the living. I speak to you in the name of God, who is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Please be seated. Some words from Mark's Gospel, the 4th chapter. Jesus asks the question, with what can we compare the kingdom of God? Or what parable will be used for it? With what can we compare the kingdom of God? Or what parable will be used for it? Over the last little while, whether through my conversations with others or as I have reflected on my own Christian journey thus far, I've been reminded again and again and again of just how much the Christian life in its entirety is encapsulated in God's call to Abraham, which we read about in the 12th chapter of Genesis. You may recall there that God says to Abraham, go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to a land that I will show you. I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, God says. And the one who curses you, I will curse. And in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed. And this was a call in which a new and a different future was opened up for Abraham, one which he could never have imagined in this life. And while it marked a new and a different beginning for Abraham and his family, it was a call that was still ultimately not about Abraham, but about the purposes of God and his kingdom in this world. Yes, God promised Abraham in these words that he would make of him a great nation, that he would bless him, that he would make his name great. But it was, if we listen carefully, for the purpose that Abraham would then be a blessing to others. Yes, God promised blessings or curses for those who blessed or cursed Abraham. But it was all for the purpose that others would know that this new way of life to which Abraham had been called was of God. That it was not man, that Abraham didn't just get up one day and decide, I'm going to walk off into the wilderness without knowing where to go. But above all, and for our purposes here today, it was a journey where the beginning was clearly marked by God's call to Abraham. But yet the destination was unknown. Go to a land that I will show you. He didn't know where it was, but he knew that he was called to go toward this place, this destination that he did not know. All he knew was the still, small voice of this faithful God who had called him. This God who would do exactly what he promised to do. And so Abraham, as an icon of faith, literally had to walk by faith and not by sight. He had to walk by faith and not by sight. Now in today's gospel, Jesus gives two parables about the kingdom of God which emphasize these two very points. Firstly, that we may know how or when, but God will, we may not know rather how or when, but we know that God will indeed do what God has promised to do. And the second point is that the greatness to which God calls us, it very often begins with small and seemingly insignificant, at least to us, but small and insignificant acts of obedience in faith. I always wonder, what if Abraham, as we say, walks up his teeth, or kiss his teeth, he said, I'm going nowhere. See how hard it is up there, God? You want me to walk off into the desert and do what? Okay. But he went. A small act of obedience in faith. And so in the first of these two parables, Jesus likened the kingdom to someone who would scatter seed on the ground and would sleep and rise night and day. The seed would sprout and grow. He does not know how. That is, the one who scatters and does not know how. He says the earth produces of itself first the stalk, then the head, then the full head in the full grain in the head. And I believe that this parable is meant to emphasize that the growth and the coming into being in the kingdom of God does not depend on the power of the one who scatters the seed, but on the God who has established within creation itself a certain rhythm of reality, a dependable rhythm of seed time and harvest. I mean, think about it for a moment. You plant something, plant it in the right way, you don't make it grow. But you find that if it's done right, it will grow. But that this is a dependable rhythm of seed time and harvest that God has ingrained within the creation itself. This is the God whose word will not return to him void, but which will bring into being the reality, the truth about God's kingdom in ways which are, in a similar way, often mysterious to us. One day we don't see it, the next day we do. So we need not doubt whether or not it will happen. For this is the God who speaks. And when this God speaks, reality and existence as we know it comes into being. And so the second of these two parables, in that parable, Jesus likens the kingdom to a mustard seed which, when sown upon the ground, is the smallest of all the seeds in the earth. Yet when it grows up, he says, it becomes the greatest of all shrubs and puts forth large branches so that the birds of the air can make their nests in its shade. And here I believe that Jesus is emphasizing the point that while the kingdom of God may seem to have small and insignificant beginnings in this world, the reality is that it grows, and it is growing into something never before thought imaginable. And many, down through the ages, have come and will come and are coming to make their nests in the branches of God's kingdom, to find rest for their souls under the shelter and shadow and shade of God's wings. And so Jesus spoke these parables in the midst of a people among whom God was already at work, but a people who, for whatever reason, just did not have eyes or ears to perceive how God was at work. So in hindsight is often the best, but in hindsight we see it in the life and call of David, whom we heard about in our Old Testament lesson for today. From all outward appearances, David was the smallest, the most insignificant of God's sons. But he becomes the very one through whom God would manifest his seed time and harvest dependability and faithfulness in the world. And even despite the efforts of his brothers, their sinful efforts to do away with him, God takes all those actions and still brings them exactly to where he wants them to be. God still unfolds his kingdom in this world through David. And that's grace in me. That despite the ways in which we try to work against God takes all of that and still brings us exactly where we need. It's like Jonah, you can run, but you cannot. So through this one, God still establishes David's line, and through David we come to know this one who is our Messiah, this one who is the Son of David. So not surprisingly, we see the same pattern also at work within Jesus' own life. This one who comes from humble beginnings, born in a manger, born to poor parents, lowly parents, the son of a carpenter. And when Israel was looking for its Messiah, no one thought to look across the tracks in Nazareth. Right? Remember Nathanael's question, can anything good come out of Nazareth? No one good comes from that side of the tracks. And so all Philip could say to him was, you know what? Come and see. Come and see. For when we come and see, we discover, my friends, that the God of all creation has in fact been faithful to his promise to make salvation possible for all. Right in that one, whom no one ever thought to look at as God's Messiah. So again, we see that pattern work once more in the lives of those whom Jesus now calls 12 disciples, and those others who will be called to be his disciples, many of whom were uneducated fishermen. But yet, like the mustard seed, God has manifested in and with and through their lives his dependable seed time and harvest faithfulness from one generation to another. That's why we are here today, because those 12 were faithful. From one generation to another,